Did you know that you can play as the Moonlord in vanilla Terraria? Well, something similar to that. Today, we're going over the Moonlord set and how we can turn into the Moonlord in vanilla Terraria. So here we go, we got the Moonlord chest. Let's check this out. For our tools, the closest thing to Moonlord gear we have is the Vortex pickaxe and the Vortex hamaxe. I quite literally only chose these because the colors, they just resemble the Moonlord. So we're gonna stick with these. As for our main armor, we're going to be using the Vortex set, once again just because it mostly resembles the Moonlord, and I just frankly couldn't find any armor sets that resemble the Moonlord any better. So let's equip that. As for our vanity, we're going to be wearing, of course, the Moonlord mask and the Moonlord legs. For our pets, we're going to be using the suspicious looking tentacle as our light pet and the piece of moon squid as our secondary pet. We're going to be using the anti-gravity hook and equip some vortex dye. This is gonna look tragic, but we need to look like the Moonlord, okay? For our weapons, we have the last prism. Now, why did I pick the last prism? Mainly because the Moonlord shoots out the last prism essentially, so we're going to be using this and the lunar flare, as once again it somewhat resembles one of the Moonlord attacks. For our accessories, we have the celestial shell. Why? Well, there weren't really many Moonlord accessories I could find, but this would probably be the closest to what he would have, as it just gives an overall buff to every single stat. He's the strongest boss, so that only makes sense. The PDA, as we know, the Moonlord is all-knowing. He knows all the stats, so that's what we have, the PDA. Ankh charm, the Moonlord is invincible to almost all debuffs, so we're gonna use that. The gravity globe, this is one of the things that he drops, so of course we have to go with that. And the Stardust wings, because the Moonlord can fly, and these are probably the closest thing we're gonna get to Moonlord wings. And lastly, we have the rainbow cursor. I thought that'd just be a fun add-on. We're going to equip some mana potions for the last prism, as I'd like to think he regenerates mana using potions. But yeah, so what do we do in the series? We equip certain loadouts and fight bosses. So what are we waiting for? Let's get right into the boss fights. We're gonna go from the easiest bosses all the way up to the hardest. So let's start off with the Eye of Cthulhu. So how does the Eye of Cthulhu do against the Moonlord set? Let's test it out. Ready? Should we start with the lunar flare or last prism? Let's do a little bit of both. Let's see how the lunar flare does. Okay, well, it's almost dead. Let's finish it off with the last prism. Pretend that we're the Moonlord. We're shooting out of our eye. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Easy. That was way too easy. How about we move on to a boss that's a little bit harder? Maybe something into hard mode. So here we have the Destroyer, essentially one of the first hard mode bosses you fight. Let's see how the Moonlord does against the Destroyer. Look at the health. Just look at the health. It's going down pretty quick. Now, one thing that I wanted to stress out is I did not equip any type of mana flower, because the Moonlord, when he uses his last prism type attack, you can easily see that he doesn't spam it. So I wanted to make it fair and make sure we can't spam it either. So that's why I don't have mana accessories. But yeah, let's use the lunar flare. How does the lunar flare do? Fantastic. Once again, we're out of mana, just like the Moonlord. He doesn't always attack you. Let's wait for our mana to regenerate and finish the Destroyer off with the last prism. The Moonlord is absolutely destroying these bosses. Once again, let's move on to something a little bit more challenging, but still within the same realms. Let's try out Skeletron Prime. I really have no idea how we're gonna do this. I guess let's go for the lunar flare first. See, I really want to use the last prism, but it shreds through our mana. And once again, the Moonlord doesn't really regenerate mana that quickly, so that's the Moonlord's main weakness. That's gonna be our main weakness while playing as the Moonlord. I was not paying attention to my health at all. I didn't think that was going to happen. That was very stupid of me. So we died to Skeletron Prime as the Moonlord. I really can't blame the set here. I think that's just my fault for being bad at the game and not paying attention. But let's try out a more challenging boss. How about we move on to something like Plantera, which hypothetically you would fight right after Skeletron Prime. Let's go for Enraged Plantera, just because I feel like that would make it a little bit more fun. Without further ado, Plantera, we're coming for you. Let's go. The thing about Plantera is she is devastating when she's enraged. It's an absolute nightmare to fight her. I didn't really plan it out. Wow. I didn't think that was gonna happen. I didn't think we're gonna honestly die that quickly. Just as in the previous video, how about we try Plantera again, but this time in the underground jungle. We'll use this anti-gravity hook as support. But right, let's try out Plantera. We'll just kind of wobble from side to side. Drink a mana potion. Oh, I do not want to die. I'm about to die. How am I so bad at this game? Drink another mana potion. Oh god. I am horrific at this game. You guys need to try out this class. I mean, it's very fun to play around with. I don't know why I'm doing so bad. Like, I mean, our defense is great. We have 66 defense. That's plenty of defense, you'd think, but for some reason, we're not doing too well. All right, let's move on to one of my favorite bosses, which is going to be the Lunatic Cultist. As you guys know, I love fighting this boss when testing things out. He's like a little benchmark for me to see how good weapons are. But yeah, let's use the Lunar Flare a bit. Mess around with that a lot. It consumes much less mana, so it might be a little bit easier to use that for the boss fight. See, the last prism does a lot of damage, but it's very inaccurate, and we're going to die. You know what? Maybe I'm like wrong about the Moonlord set. We are not doing too great, and I feel like we have valid defense. What's wrong? I feel like I am the problem for real. No, let's try that one more time. This is surprisingly very hard. Like, I thought with Moonlord gear we would be able to just like shred through everything, but honestly that's not the case. It's probably because I'm using a magic weapon with a ranged class. Maybe I should have thought that one out. Oh, yeah, that attack shreds through your health. Yeah, so when fighting the Lunatic Cultist, you need to be careful of that attack. That's like one of his most damage dealing attacks. How about we summon in another boss, something a little bit easier. Once again, I love testing weapons on this boss. We got Golem. Let's try out the last prism on him. See, the last prism is probably like the worst weapon we could use. Or like we have to use it very sparingly. It just destroys our mana, and then we have to wait a long time for it to regenerate unless we have potions. There's no way I'm gonna die to Golem, okay? I'm very close to dying, and I do not want to let that happen. That would be embarrassing. I would never forgive myself for it. I know I'm gonna get flamed in the comments if I die to Golem. With Moonlord gear, we're not gonna die to Golem with Moonlord gear. I do not. Okay, no, this isn't funny anymore. I'm actually so close to dying. Oh god. Let's forget about that one. We did not die to Golem. No, that wasn't me. You guys did not see that. Just ignore that. Pretend that did not happen, okay? Pretend that did not happen. Well, the time has come. We have to put this loadout through the ultimate test. Can the Moonlord loadout defeat the Moonlord? That kind of hurt to say a little bit. I know we're not going anywhere. Like, this is a lost cause. I died to Plantera and Golem. There's no way I'm gonna defeat the Moonlord, but you know what? Let's jump into it. Let's give it a try. Let's see how this goes. I'm just hoping for the best. 3, 2, 1. Spawning in the Moonlord. Okay, Lunar Flare. Let's just use the Lunar Flare the whole time. Oh god, we're getting ripped apart. Oh lord. You know what? I'm gonna use that on you too. Yeah, how do you like that? How do you like that? How do you like that last prism attack, huh? I completely forgot that we can go upside down using the globe. Well, so much for going upside down, huh? Yeah, maybe the Moonlord is just, he's probably just better at the game than me, you know? But hey, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to check out another loadout video over here. Consider subscribing to the channel for more Terraria videos. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.